I've I've noticed a lot of you have been enjoying my tutorial videos lately, so I've decided to make another tutorial. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to make the perfect French toast. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is grab a loaf of bread. Depending on how many pieces of French toast you want, that's how many slices of bread you're going to need. I know for a fact that this loaf is perfectly fine, but I'm still going to do the mold check. So we'll grab one piece out of here. Right here, give it a little quick look over. Perfect. So we know all of these in here are going to be perfect. We don't need the bread right this second. This is just the first step because this is the most important piece to this whole process here. So if you don't have bread, you can't continue any further. So that's why we check this first. The first actual ingredient you're going to need is eggs. So you're gonna need eggs, you're gonna need some milk. Those are the two ingredients. That's all you need, except for maybe butter also. So we're gonna need some eggs, we're gonna need milk, and then a little bit of butter. So we got some eggs. Looks like this carton is a little bit less than half full. That's fine. This is more than enough. We're gonna need a little container to put our mixture in. There's many different types of containers you can use. I'm going to use this. Basically, the main thing you want to look out for, I'm going to show you a little trick here. The main thing you want to look out for is if you can fit an entire slice of bread in there. That's a very important thing to note, because what we're going to do is we're going to put our mixture in here. We're going to dip the bread in it. If the bread can't fit in the container, you're going to run. So basically what happened is I lost all of my audio after this incident, so I'm going to be dubbing over the remainder of this tutorial. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I really don't remember what I was talking about at this point here, but it was probably something about the French toast. Here we go. So the container has to be the perfect container, and we're just going to put the bread back in there. So we're preheating the frying pan. You might have noticed by now there is a theme going on with the frying pan. All of my tutorials so far have included a frying pan, and that is because I like frying things. And frying pans are nice. So there. And this is a very nice frying pan. And we're going to preheat the frying pan. We're going to preheat it 50% power, half heat. See the little crumbs in there? We don't need to worry about those. We'll just leave those right in there. And then we're going to continue on with the French toast. We're going to start with our mixture, beginning with the eggs. As you can see, one of them cracked. It got a little stuck in there. It was a little cracked already. I tried grabbing it out and it just cracked even more. So these are two nice eggs. We're going to use 2 eggs in this recipe. So if you'll pay attention here real close, we're going to crack the eggs and put them. Oh. We're going to crack There, you're gonna angle it down a little bit so you can see a little bit better here. Or just a little bit higher so you can't see anything at all. So what we're gonna do, pay attention to what I'm doing here. The technique is very difficult, but once you practice it enough, if you watch this video a couple times, you'll be able to crack eggs just like me. Perfect. And you're just gonna wanna do that again. Grab another egg, couple taps on the frying pan, one-handed egg cracking action. And you may have noticed a little bit of the shell dropped into there right there, but that's nothing to worry about. You can leave that. We're gonna get rid of that here. Perfect. And we don't need these eggs anymore. We don't need these. We're gonna throw them in the garbage. Okay, so next step. The next step in the French toast mixture. There, so this is what you want to see. We've got the 2 eggs cracked in the container here. The next step is to add the milk. And what I like to use is this unsweetened almond milk. Just give it a little shake. If you're using regular milk, you don't necessarily need to shake it. But for almond milk, I would recommend shaking it. And then what you want to do, you just want to pour a little bit of that milk into the eggs. Just like so. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. And then the next thing you want to do is put the lid on the milk, and then you want to grab a fork. There are a couple other tools you could use in place of a fork, but a fork is my personal recommendation and what I use personally. What I'm gonna want to do now is start mixing. Just like this, small circular motions until you fully incorporate the eggs into the milk. You'll notice it's starting to change like a golden yellow, orangish color. And that's because of the yolks mixing with the milk. You'll notice it's very important to do the circular motion. It might look a little bit off. I'm going to show you a little bit of a better angle momentarily here. There we go. Yeah, like this. It's like you're rowing a boat. Rowing a boat here. So just continue mixing until it's completely mixed, and then we can begin the next step to the process. This may take you a little while. This might take a minute or two for you. I've done this many times, so don't be upset if it takes you longer to mix than it takes me right now. And this looks about perfect. And there you go. That's exactly. I wish I remembered what I was saying at this point, but I really don't know what I was saying. All I can think is I was talking about mixing the eggs with the milk. So we're just going to place that down, and then we're going to rinse off the fork, just a little quick rinse, and throw it back in the drawer. There we go. And now the next step. The bread. So now the frying pan has been preheated. So what we're gonna do now, I kind of explained this a little bit earlier in the video, but what we're gonna do is we're going to dip the bread into the mixture we just made. So right here, you one slice at a time. We're not in a rush here. We want to do things right. So you put it into the mixture. You just drop it in there, pick it up, flip it over, drop it again. Pick it up and then put it into the frying pan. It'll make a nice sizzling sound if you've heated up the frying pan properly, which would sound something like this. That's what it sounded like. So we're just going to do the other one as well. You want to kind of be a little bit speedy about this because we're putting them on at the same time, so this will kind of sync up the times where we want to flip the French toast. You don't want one to be done and the other one to not be done, and then have to, it puts the whole thing out of whack. It messes with the process. You want to do it as quickly together as possible. Just rinsing off my hands because there's a little bit of egg on your hands after you do this, which is fine as long as you wash your hands. And then what you want to do is you want to get the flipper. Yeah, let's move in for a closer look here. So you'll notice a little bit of a thing here where the mixture has hit the frying pan. It is starting to bake onto the frying pan, which is fine. That is completely normal. You want to see that, but this next step is very, very important. Similar to the pancakes, you want to just kind of scrape underneath the French toast so it doesn't burn, so it doesn't stick. You're just being ever so gentle. One thing you do want to look out for when you're doing this is that you don't rip the bread. It is very soggy at this point, and it is very, very easy to rip the bread because it is just in a very fragile state right now. Until it's fully cooked, it is a soggy piece of bread, and I've lost count of the times I've ripped a soggy piece of bread accidentally. And I don't want you making the same mistake as me. And I think that's something very important to keep in mind. I've done these recipes so many times. I've made so many mistakes. I'm making these tutorials so you don't make the same mistakes that I had to go through to get to where I am today. So you're welcome. So this is what you want to do. You want to flip the French toast. Flipping the French toast is a very difficult process, and the timing for it is very, very hard to figure out. Once you've made this a few times, maybe watch the videos 2, 3, maybe 4 times, you'll start to pick it up and you won't need to think about it too much. But this is exactly what you want to see. There's a nice golden brown coating on the top, and the next thing, you just want to let it sit, let it sizzle away, and flip it again. From time to time, you may still flip it a little bit prematurely. The golden might not be golden enough. So in that situation, what you're going to want to do is just flip it one more time and let it sit until it is the desired color. Like this. This is perfect. As I said, every French toast I've made in the past 5, 10, 15 years has been perfect. But when you're just starting out, you can't expect it to always turn out as good as these ones are. But that is why I'm doing these. I'm making these tutorials for you to help speed up that process for you. Just flipping it again. There we go. Take another look at this. The lighting's a little bit off, but that's all right. There we go. The timing is the trickiest part to figure out about this, but I believe in you. And I think I'm gonna grab a plate right now. I think that's what I'm doing. Yep, there's the plate. And I think we're about wrapping up the French toast tutorial. These do look like some mighty fine pieces of French toast. We're just gonna do maybe one, maybe two more flips just to make sure it's perfect. And then we'll be ready to chow down on some nice French toast at 1 a.m. Because there's nothing I like more at 1 a.m. than some fresh French toast. And we'll just put those on the plate right here. We're gonna add a little bit of butter to the top. This is the only time you will need to add butter to this. You don't need to butter the frying pan. All you need the butter for is to put directly on top of the French toast after it has been French toasted. Just a nice little layer of butter or margarine. You can use whatever you prefer or the closest thing you have available to you. Just put that on there. And then what we're gonna grab is some maple syrup. Being a Canadian, I always have a jar of maple syrup. This is actually a brand new jar, never opened. So we're just gonna take off the little seal in a moment here. It's just simple. You just grab the little pull tab and you just lift it up and it'll come right off. Just like that. Just like that. Not struggling at all. Very straightforward. And then put the lid back on. Pop it open. And just enough to coat the French toast. You're gonna want to grab the fork, cut off a little piece, and that's how you make the perfect French toast. Enjoy. Perfect French toast.